I don't find one too hectic compared to the other. The timing still ends up to, holy shit, it's finals week. I'm gonna kill myself.
Right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, yes.
When I went into community college, no one wanted to fuck with anyone else. They just wanted to get their degree and get out. They just don't want to talk to anyone. So therefore, this made this decision a lot easier, and it's mainly because we had no free time.
Because 100% of my grade could be based on the final if I wanted it to. So after I figured out, like, damn, dude, I could have just fucking taken the L and gone to Vegas.
Hindsight's 2020 though.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Apartment 308. I'm here with my four best mates, Brian, Chris, Grant, and Alex. My name is Ryan, and this is Semesters versus Quarters.
Okay, not bad for the intro, Ryan. Yeah,
That's
so
how you do it, bitch.
yeah, so welcome back to Apartment 308, everybody. How y'all doing? You're here listening in on the show called This or That, where me and a couple friends, we just take a topic and we're just going to debate about it from all sides. Well, in this case, we're going to have two sides. Like Ryan said here, we got some guests here today, of course, Ryan himself, Grant is also back, and we got two new guests here in the apartment today. Let's give it up for Alex and Chris. Say what's up, guys.
How's it going, everybody?
Hello.
You're retreading on my intro here, man.
Alex isn't even new.
Technically, yes, he's still relatively new to the channel and the show, Grant. So also like Ryan said earlier, today we're gonna be discussing continuing on with this theme of like post graduation and school. Today we're gonna be talking about the semester system versus the quarter system. Out of these two types of schooling, which one do we think is more preferable, more better for us in terms of learning, college life, and all that good stuff that we know about in adulting? And this is an appropriate gallery we got here today because we got some people here that are just primarily semester, and we also got some people here that are primarily quarter system. But we have some few people here today that have been through both, and we want to know what their take is, if they prefer the semester system or the quarter system.
Honestly, I just came here just going like this. I could go either way, but I just want to hear everyone else's opinion while also like putting my take on it as well.
Hell yeah, that's what the show is all about. We're here to discuss and we're here to learn some shit. Today it's an educational podcast.
To segue off what Ryan said, I too am a product of both the semester and quarter system. I don't care which one's which because I just try and keep my head down and get the work done. But as a freshman going into a quarter system from a trimester system from high school, it was a rude awakening. I'm not going to say that I performed the best to my abilities the first quarter. There were some classes that needed to be remediated, but nonetheless I learned. And that first like shock of cold water, so to speak, was interesting, and it was definitely a learning experience. But as soon as I got used to like how to expect the course load and how professors were to deliver said lectures and whatnot, and like when to expect exams such as week 3, week 6, finals on finals week and whatnot. It's easily adaptable, but nonetheless, it was definitely way more fast paced than one would like. But super adaptable if you were to rise up to the challenge.
Yeah. So we are gonna be taking more of a deep dive, Chris. So I am gonna ask like specific questions, and this is just to help us just to really think about a semester life versus a quarter life. And if you guys want to hear more on our take on this topic, make sure you subscribe to Apartment 308, like today's video, comment, share it, and yeah.
I'm looking at the questionnaire. I'm pretty sure both schools had sweaters.
Shut up. We're just gonna jump into it, alright? Ryan, shut up.
No. That's
Okay.
your mistake.
Okay, but I did have a school that didn't have a sweater before.
Alright, let's just jump into it. So we already established here that both Chris and Ryan have experienced a semester and a quarter system. Grant and I have only experienced a semester system, because CSU's for life, baby. Wait, Grant, you went to community college as well too, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say my community was semester, CSU was semester, and my grad school is semester.
Oh, really? Wait, your grad school is also semester?
Yeah, so every program in the United States for my degree is a semester based.
Damn. How do you
That's
feel
cool.
about it?
Yes.
It's stressful either way. So
I feel like it's good though for his level of education to be standardized.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Plus, I
And-
also like to. Plus, I also like to like give a hand to like Grant because he's going to a graduate school for law.
Hell
That's,
yeah.
that's bloody magnificent.
Woo!
Let's go,
Wow.
Yeah.
law
to
student.
be accredited, every
Way to
law
go.
school has to be a semester based,
Interesting.
just to
Okay,
keep everything fair.
we can get into that in a bit, but Alex, you've always been on the quarter system, right?
Yeah, I've always been on quarter system. Honestly, I actually would hate to be on semester system. Just hearing stories
Ooh.
from all my friends, because I feel like quarter system allowed me to have, first off, take a lot of classes in a shorter time frame, and that has its pros and cons. But I think one of the biggest pros I had my first year was being able to meet so many people in all my different classes.
Mhm.
So I met two of my really good friends who were, one of them is going to med school soon. The other one, he's going to be I think he's doing something clinical with psychology. I don't know what they call that, but I met two of them in chemistry that I took my second quarter. And on top of that, I also met one of my friends who was in public policy. He wanted to do public policy. He was majoring in poli-sci. I met him in
Ooh.
a course that same year. So I met a lot of people within my first year just because of that, and also got to spend a lot of time with. So going at UCR, I had people I knew people that were already there, right? And I was actually able to take a decent amount of classes with them, even though they were upperclassmen, just because of that fact as well. So, for example, my first quarter, I had a class with one of my good friends from high school, and then another time I had another class with one of my best friends from high school. And so, I just got to meet a lot of people from different majors, and honestly, like, I like kind of just getting it over with, like being able to do everything within a 10-week time frame. I never felt that I was missing out on anything, and I felt like, I don't know, 14 weeks for a class like fluid mechanics kind of seems like overkill to me. That's just me. Just because all my teachers, they went over the topic super fast, and you just had to learn
Yeah.
it. So
I think we should also establish like what major everyone's in. So by the time this is released, I graduated as a graphic designer. Ryan here, you are a computer scientist, more specifically in game development and game design. Yeah, Grant, we already said he's a law student. Chris and Alex, wait, what do you guys major again?
I'm graduating with a bachelor's in chemistry, general chemistry.
Hell yeah! What about you, Alex?
I graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering.
Ooh, okay, now that's gonna be a spicy topic, because I feel like also depending on what major you studied in is also how you see which system is better,
Yeah.
the semester or quarter. Okay, so this is a good establishment to go ahead and jump into the discussions. So first off, I do want to ask everyone, based on just the experiences, where do you feel like you got a lot more educational value from your semester system or your quarter system?
Honestly, like for me who did both, like I kind of sometimes I did the same class for like both in the quarter semester and the semester. Sorry, the quarter system and the semester system. And
Mhm.
and it's mainly because like sometimes like whenever you're like sometimes like two quarter classes can like equal to one semester class. And so if I took one, I have to take the same topic again.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Yeah. So, but in the end, I kind of don't feel like I missed anything. Like what Chris said, it was more so It was more so like once you're coming out from a semester system to a quarter system, it kind of feels like you're trying to grab on the bullet train. If it's not stopping at the station, you're just trying to board on it as it's moving.
You're gonna get hit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But I know that's just like the metaphor I could come up at the moment. So, like for example, like C plus plus or like intermediate C plus plus, both are classes in the quarter system that I took. Then there was like problem solving and programming, which was exactly the same thing, except it was in a semester system. And honestly, like I kind of like, and like I said, I just felt like, okay, I'm not treading on new ground or anything like that. So it just kind of like seems like everything is just. Sometimes, like in the core system, like they do like have they do know like what's the time at stake, and they know like this. Okay, we need to get through A to B to C to D. But however, in the semester system, it's like this. Oh, we got a lot of time on our hands, and then eventually just goes to like the end of the semester. It's just like I don't know what the fuck I want to talk about. Maybe I'll just hold off until the next semester, where like in this class part 2, we'll cover it. But let's just chill for now.
Yeah.
So you kind of get those moments in the semester system.
Yeah, I kind of have to say for like my end for a semester system, at least for what have I experienced, it's like for me, I think like some of my classes is just the same thing like over and over and over again for like 14, 15 weeks. And it's like, you kind of just get bored. But then again, it also depends like what kind of teacher you have. Like, because if the teacher's actually good at their job, as in you actually learn more as the time you're going on, it's like, yes, you're actually getting a lot more educational value for that semester. But however, this is this major issue I see where it's like, say you take like one class a semester, but then next thing you know, it's like, wait, shit, there's other classes I needed to take for me to know more about the life I'm about to get into. What? And that happened to me so many times during my time at the CSU. That's just for me.
Both of them introduced their own challenges. I'm gonna side with Ryan. I had to remediate a couple courses, or just one, Calculus 2. I took one in the quarter system and one in the semester system. And the way that it reflected when I switched my curriculum from quarter to semesters was there was a decrease of lecture classes because they tried to teach a quarter curriculum in the semester timeline. So we had 5 days off. And the units actually they transferred as 1.67 instead of 3.0 because of the overlap that Ryan mentioned. That's one common thing. Yeah, exactly. Pretty. If you catch a tail end of a series, so the third out of 3 in a series, you won't have to take the interlap because they offered at my school a bridge, so to speak. So you wouldn't have to overlap your the courses because they would take some from Calc 1 take the last half of Calc 1 and then put it in a Calc 2. You wouldn't have to learn that. You'd learn only Calc 2, but your courses would only count for 1.67 units. So that kind of allowed for me to take a quote unquote quarter class in a semester system, and I felt like it wasn't fast enough, and there was a lot of like vague moments in the class where it's like, what is going on? Are we going to class today?
Are we gonna go to class today?
We have a test, or like is something due? Like,
do I have to show up? Do I have to be present?
Yeah.
I definitely see that problem coming in like a 3-step series for fall, winter, summer, or fall, winter, spring. But for how semesters takes it with the like if we're talking 3 different classes and then one more or 3 different classes and they overlap, I think that the workload actually balances out correctly for both. I don't find one too hectic compared to the other. the timing still ends up to, holy shit, it's finals week. I'm gonna kill myself.
Right?
Yeah.
Theoretically, yes. So I understand from Alex's point of view, but seeing how professors, and I've spoken to them just in their office hours, how they're adjusting, because I was curious too, because it was both hard on both the professors, the office, and the students. I was just watching how they would adjust their quarter curriculum to meet the specifications of a semester system, and overall it was a struggle. It was an uphill fight for both sides, but they ended up grabbing one half of the first course and mixing it with the other. So ultimately, I felt like it was the same value in education, but nothing too crazy. You only have to register for 2 classes out of the whole year, 3 if you're going to summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry. I would also like to say something as well, that I also feel like certain classes work better in a semester system and others work better in a quarter system. Like Chris reminded me, calculus. Calculus is like a good example because there are so much shit that goes into calculus that it can't be thoroughly expressed within a quarter system. You need to do it in a semester system, because I remember from when I was taking calculus in the quarter system, they were just like this. Okay, so we're just gonna talk about some algebra 2 stuff, or maybe some prerequisites stuff, and then suddenly it just goes okay, now we're going into derivatives. Now we're going into trigonometric stuff. Now we're going into antiderivatives.
there's so much math.
Yeah. It's just kind of like a little bit of an overload. It's just like this. Now there's a quiz. And,
Shit.
However, I felt like I learned more from calculus in the semester system because since when it was more so drawn out, they actually have more time to actually teach you the basic fundamentals of it.
Here's a problem that we had
Quack.
with our math courses. One of the issues that really, really frustrated engineering professors was the fact that a lot of the teachers did that exact thing, but they would go too heavy on the theory side of it and very little application, which made sense because they're math teachers. But it made the professors really frustrated when we went into our upper division classes, and I think that was definitely a con of the quarter system. Was they did that because they didn't have enough time to explore some of these topics in deeper detail.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was, this happened after I took this class, but there's a class that focuses on engineering computations, and it's at first it's a really easy class, right? But they split it into 2 parts, with the second part being completely focused on the application of differential equations of calculus in an engineering setting, specifically because of that reason. And that class was completely wrecked, from what I heard from the lowerclassmen. And for the upperclassmen, because we didn't have that class, we moved on to the next part, and that it's not a series per se, but just the upper division version of it, which is literally you have one project due every 2 weeks. So we had 4 projects due. I took it over summer, so we had 4 projects due within a 5-week time frame. In the quarter system, it's 4 projects due within a single quarter. But each of those projects was extremely difficult. It was some heavy computations, and the best advice we gave to the lower classmen was you should be thankful you have that class, because we went into this upper division not having taken that class, and we did fine. We got A's in them, me and my friends, but that was just because it was over summer. But during a normal quarter system, it was just completely wrecked. People would fail it, and that was the single class that people would fail the most often. That was the one that would nail people.
Yeesh. Yeah. We should also probably consider how well can you come back if you do fail a certain class in both a semester or in a quarter scenario. But let's hear from Grant too. Grant hasn't said anything in a bit. I don't know. Yeah, Grant. Do you feel like you learned a lot more or a lot less since you're gonna be in a semester?
Semesters were perfect. I feel
Really?
like semesters work perfectly for me, just because in a lot of the subject matter that I covered, it was very much we had new subjects almost every single lecture, and I took lectures either 2 to 3 times a week for one class.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of just like, all right, perfect. And then we have enough time because of semester system versus quarter that when we came back to finals week, yeah, I felt like I wanted to die. But at least I felt like I wanted to die while I was doing review, not covering new subject matter. And I think that's a
Yes.
very big difference. It's like
Yes.
the
I
way
agree
that you
with
want to
Brian.
die.
That is true. That is true. To specify between learning the material and reviewing the material is definitely something I glossed over. So,
But I feel like semesters leave you with, you can cover a little bit more material. And I know some professors that definitely do cover more material. I've talked to some of my friends where they're like, yeah, we have a final this week, but also we're just doing this lecture on the way that, genotypes and blood types work within this genomic structure. And I'm like, you just said you got a final. Why are you learning? But I feel like in quarters, it's not like you're covering less material. It's just you're shoving it into a much smaller time frame.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Granted, I've never taken a quarter class, and I never
Yeah.
will.
Yeah. Same.
Honestly, like I said earlier, like I think like it just kind of like depends on like the class and the content within them. Like some
Yeah.
classes work better in quarters while others work in better in semesters.
Yeah, because like I said,
Yeah.
for me, since, well, I don't know, I also feel like this is at fault of the major I was in, where we were kind of understaffed on terms of professors, meaning like we didn't have enough professors to cover everything relating to what we need for our field, right? So professors were very limited on how many classes they can teach, how many students they can take in, when they can host the class and stuff like that. Like, I get that, but yeah, just based off my experiences, it's like sometimes for a semester you'll take one class but realize you could have taken this other class too. And you're just like, well, fuck, I couldn't fit into my schedule. I can probably try for next year, but my learning plans.
Oh yeah, now is it like on how some classes are like available in certain semesters?
Yeah, that too. Like, I
That
don't know
screwed
why.
me.
Yeah, like the
That's-
fact that there's classes available in certain semesters, you're just like, why?
Yeah,
And see, like-
that pisses me off. Like
yeah.
I just go like this. Okay, so all I need to do. Okay, so take me for example, like game development major. At the school, for some ungodly reason, the first class is set in the spring, while the second class is set in the fall, and you enter in the fall. It's just like, so I'm just going to like this. Well, I just kind of had to figure out my schedule. Like there goes my plans for the year.
Yeah.
How the hell do I?
I mean, it worked really well sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Having
So-
series set up like that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because the reason why I'm
Well-
taking my fifth year is because I couldn't grab some classes that were only offered in the springtime.
Yeah, but also like, so one of my series is like you take constitutional history followed by like contemporary constitutional law, and having those two, if you take them both at the same time, like I mean, I think you would be able to. You can't because of the school that we went to doesn't offer them at the same time. They're a series, but it's like you learn a lot that you're going to be applying in the next course that I don't think they would cover if you took them in
Yeah, okay.
reverse.
Okay.
I can see that.
And I think they
Yeah.
work well in terms of actually teaching the subject matter, not working with everyone's schedule.
Right.
Okay, Grant. I hear you, but it's.
I'm gonna let you finish.
My issue was not that the classes were broken up in series. Okay, I get the idea. It's just that the series
Brian.
was out of order.
Yes, there it is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So with our system, at least so our other friend who went to the same school as I did, they had trouble scheduling their classes because of that reason. So I feel like this is a major dependent thing. But like for my major, I never had that issue.
It actually did surprise me because I thought like for UCs they would throw everything like right out the gate for you when you're selecting your class for a UC.
Um.
Like, What do you
Like,
mean?
yeah,
like
can you
all
imagine?
classes are available no matter what quarter it is.
Oh
I
no, not at
see.
all. I know
Okay,
too many people
Okay,
so
that go to
all
the
right, I'm
UC
back.
who got
funny
screwed.
thing, I actually went to my first semester too, as I concurrently was enrolled into the school that I am graduating from.
Do you actually go to make a mistake?
I had to pay, so I paid. I paid, Grant.
Hey,
Wait,
tuition's
Brian, what
gonna
were you gonna
tuition.
ask me?
Oh, I was gonna ask you like well, Chris already answered, but I was gonna ask you like in the UC system, do you guys do the thing where like all classes are available like no matter what quarter it is, and you know they just said no, that's not the case, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's my bad. That's what I was going to get into. So for my major, there's like two different like I guess the best way to describe them is waves. So for people that were working that were graduating early or were like ahead in their classes, we would take something like dynamics a quarter early, so we take it in the winter. And then for the people that didn't get a chance to take it in winter, they would be able to take it in spring, and that was still a core class. But they also had the option to take another core class, like say another one that was mechanics and materials. So for me, I graduated early. I took it in fall. Most people take it in winter. So they always had, if you missed out in one window, you would have the next one to enroll in it. And there was never really the issue of getting the class unless you were like really low on units or you were on academic probation, because that just naturally makes it harder to enroll first. So like we always had like two different windows for people to fall into to be able to get their classes. Yeah, so like I was only able to get into that first one because of my second year I took fluid mechanics my spring quarter. So and then I took that other class over the summer. So I fell into that first window where I was taking all the core classes a quarter early. But there was never the only issues I heard from people was that they wanted to take it with. So like for example, I had one friend who was a super smart guy, but for whatever reason he could never take it with us. So we would take core classes a quarter early, and he'd be upset because he couldn't take it a quarter early.
Yikes.
And we'd just be like, we'd just be like, all right, well, like, that sucks because you're not going to be with us, obviously. But, like, he had other people to be with. He just wanted to be, like, around us specifically. And then on top of that, we had a lot of summer classes that you could take. So, if you did end up missing out on them, you could take some upper divisions over the summer to either get ahead or make them up.
Yeah, but however, as soon as you get into like upper division type stuff, those classes tend to like wane in availability.
Yeah, that schedule for upper level classes can be a little bit fucky depending what it's required.
That's why I say they should have no excuse of like separating the classes into separate semesters. Just have them in the same semester, and then people could just like take it at their own pace. Like it's kind of like the Breath of the Wild scenario where people could just go to the final boss as soon as they come out of the cave.
Yeah, I second that, and then they can eat shit if they really wanted to, but they don't. I really like that idea as well. I do like that idea.
They can eat shit if they want to.
I felt like the availability never waned, at least in my major, because like the closer and closer you got to the end and having to take those upper divs, the more and more people started bailing out or just changing theirs.
Yeah, that happened to me and a couple others a few times.
Like when I got to my like final classes for my concentration, it was like, oh, we only offer 30 seats and we only offer one section per semester, and these are all like, oh, you can only take this in fall or you can only take this in spring kind of classes.
Yeah, it's so
But
weird.
we always had space because people, when you get to those level of classes, it was like, oh, so and so that was in your major switched out because they realized I can't do this.
Yeah, like, what was it? Kind of like
I'm
for.
sure-
Oh, sorry. Can finish?
I was going to say, I'm sure that happened for Alex too. Like, oh, the classes got smaller and they got less seat offers, but also like people just failed out.
So here's where that issue pops up. So most of the people that started at UC and transfer in, if you made it to your third year, you were most likely not going to fail your upper divisions. But this is a point that I stress to all my friends that are going to transfer in. I tell them this whether or not they're in semester or quarter, but specifically more for quarter, because what they do for mechanical engineering, and I think like all the engineering engineering majors, I think they all do this, but at our school, the transfers get thrown into the ringer from the moment they get there. So when they go into their fall quarter, not only do they have to accustom themselves to a brand new life and a new, it might be a new city, it's a new college, new experience. They're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah.
Not only do they have to do that, but they have to balance 4 upper division classes. And something that I always tell everyone that's going to transfer is, you seriously need to like get down your study habits and treat it much more differently, because they just throw you in there and they're throwing you to the wolves essentially. And so we had a lot of transfers, like Grant said, we had a lot of transfers that would completely fail their first quarter. Like I knew quite a few people who their first quarter, they just completely failed out. So, that tends to happen. And I'm not going to say it's because they came from a semester system. I think it's more that they're just brand new, they're just brand new environment,
They're really just fresh off the boat.
Yeah, like they're really just fresh.
Yeah, that's what happened to me my freshman year as a high school student. What Alex said, I took it. I'm not gonna say I was the greatest student. I took it as I took my senior year, which kind of bit me in the ass.
Oh God!
But thank God it was all GEs. It wasn't any core classes.
Yeah.
I passed my one core class. I really needed to. So, but what Alex was saying is, it's definitely a testament to one's study habits and priorities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing is, people within their first year, we had, so out of a group of 60 of us that was in the first mechanical engineering course we had, only I would say 10-15 of us ended up graduating out of a group of 60, and that class was offered 2 times. So like, it's a huge difference between who makes it and who doesn't. So, and that had to do with just first year. People weren't taking that class serious, and it was the first class that it was like, we're here to, like, the professors would say, like, this class is hard on purpose. We're actually trying to weed you out. So that's
yeah. Damn, this is seriously like a lot of meat and good conversation about the struggles in terms of education stuff. But if it's okay with you guys, I kind of do want to transition a little bit to a little bit something else.
Can I just say one more thing, like on top of what Chris said, like it's going from a semester to a quarter, from community to community college from high school. It did kind of whip me into shape, because like I kind of had like really bad senioritis when I was in high school.
Oh shit!
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
That's a whole different topic for like another day.
Senioritis.
This or that.
Okay.
I think that's a different. I think that's let's talk about it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about we could talk about high school stories in a future episode of my new show. Remember that. Make sure you guys go check that out. So that was pretty much our take in terms of the educational side of college. But now let's talk about more of our social life. Between a semester and a quarter system, which one do you guys think you had more free time for social stuff?
Socially,
like clubs, events, or probably just like working out or partying. Yeah. So
okay, I'm just right out of the gate. I'm just gonna say this is, when I went into community college, no one wanted to fuck with anyone else. They just wanted to get their degree and get out. They just don't want to talk to anyone. So therefore, this made this decision a lot easier. And then it's mainly because we had no free time.
The truer words have never been spoken.
Quarters or semesters, Ryan?
What was that?
That was quarters or semesters?
Oh, that was quarters. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. So if I'm referencing community college, that means it's a quarter. If I'm referencing university, it's a semester.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Just to clarify for everyone, including the viewers.
Okay, so for me, and you guys are gonna hate me for this, but in my time in the semester system, I got so much free time on my hands because, well, okay, so here's the thing about us in the CSU system for a semester. Well, so from context, I've been in this CSU ever since freshman year. Grant and Ryan transferred here pretty late. So in my freshman and sophomore year, units only costed, there were 4 units a class. So 4 units for one class. I thought, okay, that's actually a really good deal. But then by the time Ryan came over, they changed it from 4 units a class to 3 units a class.
3. Yeah. 3.
Yeah, and I was just like, what the fuck was that?
You make it sound like it's my fault.
No,
My
no,
presence
it's
fucked everything
I'm not
up.
saying it's not.
no, but I mean, honestly, like, despite of how the unit system changed, I was still able to keep my semesters like 4 classes a semester. But also, I did feel like I'm not getting enough classes coming in. Like, dude, I was so worried. I was like, man, am I hitting all the requirements for graduation in 4 years? And I keep asking my advisor, and she's like, no, you're good. You don't need to worry about anything. I'm like, are you sure? It's like, nah, no, you're not going to stay an extra year. You're going to be here. You're going to graduate within 4 years. So I'm like, okay. And 4 years later, I'm already out.
It's kind of sounds like my advisors from community college. They were just like this. Am I set to like go to university by next year? Well, here's a list from assist.org.
Oh, shit. Yeah, and I mean, like, other than that, like, I was still able to, like, hang out with friends and, like, go out and, like, do chores and stuff. Yeah, like I said, it also almost felt like I was missing out on other educational value out of it because I had so much free time.
You had time for Mario Kart.
Yes.
And smashing.
Yes.
The other kind of smashing, not that kind of smashing, you sicko.
Dude, even in an online environment, I'm still able to pump out these podcast episodes with, like, 4 classes.
In quarters, I would like to say that I found myself being able to hang out with Alex a lot more. For clubs, it was all the same because the clubs had to adjust because, the student body was moving from different programs.
Yeah.
But as soon as I was able to switch to semesters, I kind of was not able to freely hang out with Alex, and it changed to Kenneth and Grant, so to speak.
Hmm.
I'd
Just
like to
because
say
it matches our
we
schedules.
started
yeah.
hanging out once we moved. Everyone moved online.
Shut the fuck
Prior,
up.
Chris
Okay,
would not
yeah.
hang out with anyone.
Just to say,
Wow.
I was super busy as an undergrad student. I was really busy, and I had a lot of stuff to take care of. But that was because of my commitments I took on in school. From a social aspect, the parties were the same. Everything was the same. I was actually able to get a girlfriend in the quarter system, and then keep her through the semester system. So, I mean, I guess it all depends to a person's interpersonal skills and time management, and that what I'm noticing as we progress through this topic is it really boils down to a person's priorities
Yeah.
and how they decide to take on university as a whole. But that was my experience. Grant's shading me though. He doesn't like me because I didn't give him enough attention during my undergrad.
I would like to say the first time I saw Chris after high school was leaving a Chick-fil-A parking lot. That's it. It's the only time.
Not sponsored by Chick-fil-A, but damn. What were
Yeah,
you
that's
guys-
not a political statement either.
What were you guys even doing?
We
Just-
weren't there together.
Oh my.
I just happened to see him.
He says that now, but he was actually stalking me.
That My Heart Will Go On music was playing in his head.
Yeah,
I think I still have a Snapchat memory of it.
Oh my goodness.
Of
So
us
the
yelling
first
out of the
year
car
that-
at each other.
So like Chris said, like my schedule lined up with all my friends from back home who were on quarter system. So like the first year was really nice until I couldn't see them anymore. Once our systems were all like different vacations, different all that. But I feel that the club stuff, like Chris said, I feel like that stayed the same. Like it was always busy, but definitely like during the first 2 years there was time to screw around. So the way that it's funny because I felt like the culture at Riverside all treated it the same. The first 2 weeks were dedicated to debauchery. So
What?
that's
Whoa.
to put it lightly.
The quote unquote quote of the first 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I didn't
2
really do
weeks.
what I was supposed to do.
Yeah,
full
you
of-
didn't do anything. You didn't do anything the first 2 weeks. And one of my favorite weeks was always week 0. Week 0 of I don't know if semester has this, but week 0 is like when everyone shows up to campus for the new school year in the fall, and week 0 is just you just go to class 2 days. It's just Thursday, Friday, and it's the funnest time period because that same week you have a concert, and you also have all the first parties. So literally in the fall, the first 3 weeks of school, it's 3 weeks just dedicated to nonstop partying. So
Dude.
that was always fun.
Dude,
Jesus,
Yeah.
guys, at our CSU, did we have kind of like a week 0 or not really? I don't remember.
I know mine
I
for
don't think
sure
so.
did. We started
It was dependent on major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, my school for sure always started on a Tuesday, Thursday, and we had a week 0 only for fall semester. But fall semester is the only time when we actually had a concert and, a whole welcoming party. But I was always too stressed after my first year of trying to get, organic chemistry or the classes that are impacted that I couldn't really focus on anything else. I was always trying to fight the wait list.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I remember I think for us at the CSU for the first beginning week, we immediately just jump into it. We always start on a Monday.
I feel
And-
like it was really
Yeah.
dependent on what classes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
I had some
just
classes
for-
where I showed up, they hand us a piece of paper, and they kicked us out after 10 minutes.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And I had other
I love
classes
that.
where I showed up, and they were like, "So we're lecturing on this today," and I would go in thinking, "I don't even have the book."
I don't even have the book.
That's me in week 4.
You gotta download the PDF from online.
Yeah, just do that. Just do that.
I'm not trying to do that.
We're
I'm
gonna
not trying to
have to
get a
leave
book
that
in that all.
No. A lot of books that you find online are actually free by the publisher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like if you find it online.
I mean, it also depends on where you look too, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Lib
depends on
Gen-
where you look. Like
Lib-
Pirate Bay for once.
The pirate. You say the Pirate Bay?
F in the chat. F in the chat.
F in the chat. F in the
I
chat.
haven't
Put it
been in a
in.
Pirate Bay. Oh my-
Actually, no, Grant, I always love those classes where it's just like this. Here's your syllabus. Get out. I'm just like.
I only
sweet.
had a few like that, but they were
It's
nice.
insane. It's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, I just go like, sweet. I could sleep for the rest of the day.
I
Dude.
don't know. I also feel like I messed up my 0 week personally, if we had one, because I always remember getting to campus and scheduling appointments back in Southern California for the same week. So I'd get to campus, move in, and then I'd hop on a plane the next day to go back home for 2 days.
Shit.
And also just to point out what just to make a context for Brian, I don't think we have a week 0, but and technically they really kickstart the year pretty damn quick. Movement day was just 3 days before.
Oh, yeah.
The week before the first week.
We had 3 days for us to move in, but I mean they did kind of give us a welcome to CSU barbecue kind of thing that first weekend.
Did they?
Yeah, you just goes all out just that entire week. It's just
Yeah.
a concert, all the parties. It's just
Yeah,
it's
no.
always the same.
When me and Ryan came back to the CSU, they literally said to us you have 3 days for you to move your ass back here, and then the first weekend we are going to have a barbecue or a barbecue lunch, free food, all that good shit. Isn't it also pretty weird how us CSUs we end school in May, and then you guys over at the quarter system at UC's end freaking mid or
June?
mid June. I'm just what the fuck?
You know
yeah.
what? You know what? I made my decision. Semester all the way because I get to get out in May.
Yeah, but it's also this thing too, because I had another friend that goes to another UC, and dude, trying to meet up with him, scheduled to meet up was so hard because he's all right, Brian, when's your spring break? It's oh, I'm from this day to this day. It's wait, shit, my spring break is literally next week after yours. So I'm well, fuck, I have to go back to school now by the time you get back here, so I only get to see you for
Brian-
1 day.
But Brian, you're forgetting the most important part. The children aren't out yet, so you got an extra month.
Oh yeah.
You
That
can go
is
to
true.
You can go to the fucking. You can go to a fucking Dave Buster's and not get hounded.
You know, right?
Yeah, you can go to the gym. You won't have to worry about some guy that can't bench right.
Or even the Exploratorium in San Francisco, where it's constantly crowded. with children.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started on that story. Uh, yeah. But anyways, getting back on topic, just one last thing I want to ask y'all is like, which out of the two systems we have here, like, which one would you say is like easier to manage your time at?
I would personally stand with the quarter system because if you hate the professor or you hate the class, it's only 10 weeks where you have to have your shit together.
Yes.
I would stand with semester. You just don't go to class if you don't like the professor. 'Cause
Yeah.
you only have to show for 10 weeks total.
Grant's a good student.
I mean, you could opt out of going to class a quarter too.
That is true. You could opt out.
That's true.
I
It
do
was
that.
Alex's last semester entirely.
Dude, I ditched all my classes.
That doesn't sound like anything I would hear from you, Alex.
I know. You
dude,
should
I
ask him how he
freaking
was the
like
semester before when we went to Las Vegas.
Man, what the fuck doing in Vegas?
He didn't want to come.
Going to clubs, gambling, hitting up
That's what I'm
live.
Honestly, I failed that test, so I should have just gone and just because 100% of my grade could be based on the final if I wanted it to. So after
Oh,
I
you
failed
just
it, I was
messed up
like,
in
damn,
general.
dude, I could have just fucking taken the L and gone to Vegas.
Hindsight's 2020 though.
By the way, I just want to point out, like, some of y'all hate your professors. It's not like there's like a website that actually like people just rate a professor and then
See,
then other
but,
people
like,
could
the
take a
thing
look
is,
at it. And
It's
Welcome to
like
today's
I could
not
look at it
sponsored.
all day, but if it's the only professor teaching for that semester,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true. Once you get into those upper divs, you don't really get a choice of who you're
Yeah,
taking.
you don't
It's
do-
kind of
yeah.
just like, well, I gotta suck it up. We all know it's not gonna be fun, but at least I don't have to show up.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
dude, for me, like, every semester
least
I
I
get, like, a new set of teachers. I immediately research, like, who they are, dude. I have an entire server filled with us graphic designers, and I'm just like, yo, at everyone, who's this teacher be like? And they're like, oh, that's the bitch. I'm like, man, fuck. I'm gonna have the worst one this year.
That's the difference between the CS and the CD servers. The CD servers are like a hive mind.
Bruh.
It's just,
I don't know.
on the other hand, it's just like antisocial fucks and that with who post memes in the random chat.
are they
Sounds like
bad bitches?
Yeah, are they bad bitches?
No,
At least you guys
no,
get
no.
servers.
Here's the thing, like, see, here's the thing about computer science students: we hate the suds, so therefore we're not bad bitches.
Yeah.
Dad bitches.
So I think the quarter system I feel like after your first year, no, maybe after your second year, you really have an idea of what to expect. Like for like 2 exam classes, you know, your first exam is always going to be week 4 and your second is week 8 before your final. And that's just kind of the pattern that it always follows throughout like all of your time there. I thought that was always consistent. So, you know, I feel like picking your time to mess around, like for example, the first 2 weeks, picking your time of when to study, when to not study, how to balance everything. I feel like you get used to that. The only thing that always blindsided people wasn't the exams themselves, but it was always the projects.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like with projects, like the exams themselves, like classes that I only had exams in, I was like, all right, this is awesome because I already knew like if it's a 2 exam class, I already know when it's gonna be. If it's a 1 midterm class, it's week 5 or week 6 every single time. So, you know, you just had to be aware of all that. You got used to the patterns, but whenever there was a project thrown in, it'd throw everything off. And during my
Yeah.
last year, that's what happened. So, I feel like the time management, it's there. There's patterns you can follow so that you can work around. But it did get hectic at times, especially balancing a club. Like what I did, I was managing over 60 people, and I'm not even gonna lie, like thinking about it now, I have no idea how I survived. Like it was it was just 24/7, just
Yeah.
email here, email there, project here, project there. So, you know, things get like when it gets hectic, it like one week it's completely fine. The next week, you know, it's about to get hectic, but once you're actually in it, it's just insane. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's just the high. I feel like with quarter system, the lows are extremely low and the highs are extremely high. That's how I always felt about it.
Yeah, I second that because like I totally forgot that projects in a quarter system are a fucking nightmare. They
Yeah.
They are.
It's just, it's just like you're minding your own business, doing something, and then suddenly, bam, you have to do this project within 2 weeks, and it's
Yeah.
like I don't have that much time.
Yeah,
And-
no,
and-
literally like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and secondly, like and on the quarter system, like it's kind of a little bit easier to manage your time more as long as it's not projects. By the way, it's mainly because it keeps you on your toes more often. On the semester
Yeah.
system, I could count on my. There were more times that I could count on my hands where like I just accidentally missed an assignment because like the semester was slogging along, and I was just like, just wait a minute, this happened, shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, since when it's like rapid fire, it's just like okay, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this,
Yeah,
gotta do that. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, and that's the part where it's like, once it gets going, it gets, the worst weeks for me is always week 5 through 7. It's just always hell because of that reason. It's just rapid firing, just one thing after another, just like you said. And when they add a project into that, I literally didn't know how I would survive. So like whenever I get hit with like some anxiety attack these days, I'm like, bro, this doesn't even compare to what I've gone through.
Yeah.
I just like, I legit thought I wasn't gonna make it past week 7 a few times.
That reminds me of this one project I did in a quarter system where I had to make a website from Java. It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And I was just like I was like struggling. I was like trying to Google as much shit as I can on the subject, and it was just like I don't know how to do this. and the thing is that for some reason Java has like 2 separate ways to like render an HTML page instead of just the one that you could do with Node.js or Python.
Yeah.
And just that time factor, it's just like you're getting closer and closer to the due date, and you have another exam, so you're just calculating, taking tactical L's at that point.
Yeah. But to like kind of like wrap it up, and also just to ask like one last question, it's just like, because it sometimes it does feel, I feel like this episode we kind of just scared some students from going into a quarter system or a semester system. But can we just all agree that no matter which system you pick or you go, it really is all dependent of your ability to manage your time? Would you say that's the case?
It's all right to be scared.
Yeah,
It's all right to be scared. It's all right to be scared.
It's
Yeah.
alright to be scared.
That's today's moral lesson. It's all right to be scared, everyone.
it's and also like it's also kind of dependent on the professor because like sometimes they could like come from that era where like mental health was pretty much shunned, and they were just like, just suck it up, bitch. Here's a 50-page you have to do this 50-page thesis within a week.
Man, fuck. Again, like, for any of y'all listening, if any of you guys are about to enter a quarter system, but you're listening to this episode and you're like, fuck, I might regret this now. It's like, just try not to worry about it so much. Just, really, it is gonna test on how well you can manage your time. Like Alex and Chris said, they still had some free time on their hands, so don't worry about it.
The saying, to eat an elephant, you got to take it one piece at a time.
Yeah.
Try not to look
I
at
don't
it
think
the
that's
whole
a
thing.
saying
break,
at all.
break down the goals in a small bite-sized chunks.
Why
man.
is
You'll
it
be
an
okay.
elephant? First of all, we are not advising this at all, guys, to our channel.
All
It's
I'm
good.
saying,
It
get
tastes
a
good.
calendar, you'll be fine.
Get a
Brandon
calendar.
had one.
And also,
What?
and also one more thing, if you're discouraged about going to higher education, computer science jobs sometimes take a high school degree. All you need to do is just teach yourself some coding. You're good to go.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's another motivation. Your job's not gonna be anywhere near as hard as school. Just suck it up.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. What did I
That
do
is
this week
true.
for work? Get coffee.
Get coffee.
Or even better yet,
Hey,
find a
32
campus
hours.
with a reliable coffee shop.
Oh yes, that's true. That's another topic for next time.
Coffee. Best coffee. All right. If that's gonna be the next.
Caffeine source.
If this gets 10 likes on the videos, guys, we're gonna talk about coffee for the next episode of whichever show we're gonna do.
Are we going to talk about coffee or caffeine as a whole?
No.
No,
Yes.
caffeine's gonna be
Caffeine
a whole.
pills.
No, Grant, no.
That's where the real crackheads are. Caffeine pills.
Caffeine pills.
I don't go in the realm of like energy drinks because like
Me neither.
I get.
All right, I gotta
because
go.
all
yeah,
right, see ya.
we should probably wrap it up, but
Yeah, let's.
No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's because
I was gonna- I know. I was about to say we should probably wrap up this episode like right now, guys.
should.
But
Okay, yeah, no
Yeah,
worries.
but,
Sorry about
before
No,
we
it's okay. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it like that.
that. Okay.
all right, so before we sign
I
off
took it like
today,
that.
we also gotta shout out our boy Ryan here. I gotta give him a shout out to his Twitch channel. Ryan, you want to introduce your Twitch?
My Twitch handle is at rpsmcneasy. I'll start streaming again like around May 24th, and that's mainly because like we're currently in finals right now, and I just got to focus. School comes first, so.
What are you planning on
Um,
streaming soon?
So on Mondays, this alternates between weeks, by the way. So I stream Super Mario RPG or Banjo Kazooie, but on Saturdays I stream Pokemon Sword or Luigi's Mansion.
Hell
Who is
yeah!
this dancing?
Hell
Oh
yeah!
Luigi's Mansion 3. Let me clarify. Luigi's Mansion 3.
Hell yeah! If you guys want to catch Ryan on the streams, I'll leave it in the link in the description below. Make sure you follow him. Use your Prime sub today. Get this boy at his Twitch affiliate. See, he needs to make money.
I need to make money just so I don't have to go to work.
And please, someone sponsor me. I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I don't have
Rate
money.
my professor. We're reaching out.
No. if they actually like come to us and be like, "Hey, you want to sponsor us on the show?" I'm like, "Oh God."
Okay. Here's Brian's PayPal account. www.paypal.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode of This or That Semester versus Quarter System. Thanks to Alex, Chris, Grant, and Ryan for joining on today's show. This is fun, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. So make sure to subscribe to Apartment 308, like today's video, comment down below on your life in the semester system, quarter system, or even in both if you're like Chris and Ryan here.
Yeah, please share so therefore we could get into other people's minds like a little virus. Eventually so therefore we could complete our plan for world domination.
Like Ryan said, go ahead and share the video with all your friends. Alright, y'all. Until the next
Do it.
episode, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.